up on Falcon Weekly, protecting our planet. The world leaders gather in France to discuss climate change. Find out how President Obama and other leaders are planning to face the issue.
And more shoppers are turning to the web to buy their Christmas gifts. See how retailers are hoping to entice shoppers to fill their online carts this Cyber Monday as the frenzy over Black Friday fades.
Winter is coming, and that means we could face icy road conditions. We've got some tips to help you prepare for driving in wintry weather.
And how much would you value this record-setting diamond? $5 million? $15 million? Find out why jewelers are having a hard time putting a price on this rock.
Plus, find out how a man's best friend can be man's best workout buddy. We'll show you which dog breeds may help you with your exercise routine. Falcon Weekly starts right now. Hello and welcome to Falcon Weekly. I'm Austin Gates.
And I'm Courtney Stroop. Thanks so much for joining us for our final newscast of 2015.
President Obama and other world leaders are in Paris today for a major summit on climate change.
This tops our look at your news to go. The gathering comes in the wake of the recent terrorist attacks in France. Steve Nance has the story.
Political momentum like this may not come again.
Over 150 world leaders gathered in Paris on Monday to discuss an issue that impacts everyone, global climate change. The Conference of Parties, or COP21, is an annual forum with the goal of reducing greenhouse gas emissions worldwide. In his speech, President Obama said the U.S. is prepared to act, but also stressed that this must be a global effort.
The United States of America not only recognizes our role in creating this problem, we embrace our responsibility to do something about it.
Obama also aimed to ease concerns from critics who say that reducing carbon emissions will lead to a slower economy.
We've proved that strong economic growth and a safer environment no longer have to conflict with one another. They can work in concert with one another.
The Paris summit comes just 17 days after a major ISIS terrorist attack that took the lives of 130 people. The summit began with a moment of silence to honor the victims. Later, President Obama and Russian President Vladimir Putin met to discuss the situation in Syria and the overall strategy for dealing with ISIS. The president argued today's summit is a rejection of what ISIS stands for.
And we salute the people of Paris for insisting this crucial conference go on.
I'm Steve Nannis reporting.
President Obama also met with the president of China, whose country is the world's largest pollution emitter. The Chinese president said any agreement must take into account the differences among nations.
The man Colorado police say opened fire at Planned Parenthood office last week appeared in court today. Authorities say Robert Deere shot and killed 3 people, including a university police officer, at a Planned Parenthood clinic in Colorado Springs Friday. The standoff lasted nearly 6 hours. Meanwhile, there are new details about a possible motive. A law enforcement officer tells CNN that Deere talked about baby parts to investigators after his surrender, and he said he was anti-government and anti-abortion views. Authorities also found propane tanks in the area of his car, possibly intended to create an explosion.
The trial of a Baltimore police officer charged with Freddie Gray's death began today. William Porter is the first of 6 officers to go on trial for Gray's death. Porter is charged with involuntary manslaughter, second-degree assault, misconduct in office, and reckless endangerment. Prosecutors say he ignored Gray's cries for medical help while he was in the back of a police transport vehicle. State's attorney Marilyn Mosby says Gray's death was a result of a spinal cord injury he sustained during his 45-minute ride unbuckled in the back of the vehicle. Gray's death sparked weeks of rioting in Baltimore.
$1.5 million. That's the bail a Chicago judge set today for the police officer charged with the shooting death of 17-year-old Laquan McDonald. Saturday, a protest and march were held in Chicago, the latest in a series of demonstrations held over the teen shooting. The protesters ramped up after a video was released Tuesday that showed Chicago police officer Jason Van Dyke firing at McDonald's 16 times. Congressman Bobby Rush joined Reverend Jesse Jackson and other elected officials Saturday. They called on city leaders to make a comprehensive change and adjustment department investigation into Chicago police. The city of Chicago announced it will expand the use of body cameras on police officers. The announcement came after a Chicago Sun-Times report about the use of body cameras. The report said that the program was yielding results but was not moving quickly enough. Officials plan to purchase 1,400 body cameras for the use in 6 police districts. They'll spend $2.2 million on the program. Half the money will come from the city funds and the other half will come from a U.S. Department of Justice grant. So far, none of the officers wearing body cams have had civilian complaints fielded against them while they were wearing the devices. Texas, Arkansas, and Oklahoma are thawing out after an ice storm hit the region over the Thanksgiving holidays. Power lines, street poles, and trees fell to the ground from the weight of this thick winter ice.
The ice is thawing now, but many travelers were worried with this wintry mix, and many places experienced wide power outages. Luckily, Alabama was not a part of this icy inconvenience. Falcon Weekly's Candace Crutchfield has a look at our Montevallo forecast.
What's the weather looking like this week, Kansas?
Well, there's no ice, thank God. Looking ahead, there will be rain. It's going to come from the north. Also, it's going to be about 60 degrees in Montevallo tonight, and the lowest is going to be 57 in Hamilton and 57 in Eufaula. Looking into the week, it's going to be about the upper 50s, lower 60s as the high, and the low is going to be about the higher 30s. So it's not going to quite get low enough to freeze. So we're going to be good, but go ahead and bring out your umbrellas. Thanks, guys. Back to y'all.
Thanks, Candace. Since the ice storm began Thursday, almost 200 weather-related incidents have been reported across the Texas Panhandle. One of the many accidents happened Saturday afternoon on I-27. Police say the driver lost control of his car and rolled off the interstate and into the access road. No serious injuries were reported from this wreck, but at least 14 deaths were reported for Texas, Kansas, and Oklahoma because of the icy conditions. Winter weather like what hit Texas, can make driving more difficult and dangerous.
Falcon Weekly's Brittany Williams joins us live with some tips on how to be prepared for possible upcoming icy driving conditions in the coming winter months. Brittany?
Thanks, guys. We all remember the snowpocalypse from winter 2014 and how it affected many people and left many people stranded across the southeast. While the weather may be unpredictable, there are a few things you can do to prepare for driving in wintry conditions. According to carcare.org, you should keep your car battery connections clean. Also check to be sure your heating and air conditioning systems are working properly. Be sure to routinely check your tire pressure and brakes. Your tires can lose pressure in colder weather, so you will probably have to add some air at some point in the winter. If you find yourself driving on slippery roads, the most important thing to do is slow down. Then that will help you maintain control and give you more time to react. In other travel-related news, gas prices are falling nationwide and has led to a lot of traveling this past Thanksgiving. According to AAA, the national average for a gallon of regular unleaded gas is $2.04. That's down more than 25% from a year ago. And now, nearly 2 out of every 3 gas stations nationwide have gas below $2 a gallon. Michigan has the lowest statewide average, with a gallon going for about $1.81. Gas Buddy says the cheapest gas in the country is at Sam's Club in Lafayette, Indiana, where a gallon of regular gas is just $1.39. But 6 states don't have a single station selling gas below $2 a gallon. Those pricey states are Alaska, California, Hawaii, Maine, Montana, and Vermont. So what about here in Alabama? The average gas price for the state is $1.83. The average gas price in Montevallo is a bit lower at $1.81. Reporting live in the studio, I'm Brittany Williams. Back to you.
Thanks, Brittany. Remember, there's always more news online 24/7. Just search for UM Falcon Weekly on Facebook and Twitter to see more stories and news updates throughout the week.
Coming up, we've all been told not to play with our food, but one tiger didn't get the message. See how one lucky goat went from being the tiger's feast to a friend.
And later on Falcon Fever, legendary Lakers star Kobe Bryant is retiring, but how he made the announcement caught a lot of people off guard. Hear more from Kobe coming up.
And in between the hustle of Black Friday and the craze of Cyber Monday, shoppers are also shopping small. See how the first family took time at a local DC business. Those stories and more when Falcon Weekly returns.
Welcome back to Falcon Weekly. Now it's time for a look at consumer headlines.
Falcon Weekly's Matt Haskins joins us now with the latest. What's up, Matt?
What's up, guys? Well, today it's officially Cyber Monday. 121 million shoppers are clicking away to fill the online charts today. That's according to the National Retail Federation. But many of the sales actually started earlier. Stores like Walmart, JCPenney, and Best Buy kicked off their cyber sales early on Sunday. This year marks 10 years since the first Cyber Monday back in 2005. People aren't as excited about Black Friday as they used to be. Still an important sales day, of course, but a variety of factors are gashing into its reputation as the day for the biggest discounts. According to retail researcher ShopperTrack, Black Friday sales fell from $11.6 billion last year to $10.4 billion in 2015. On Sunday, the National Retail Federation released a survey showing more people shopping online than in recent years. The NRF estimated roughly 103 million Americans shopped online over Thanksgiving weekend, while nearly 102 million shopped in the stores. According to Adobe, which tracks activity at 4,500 retail websites, online sales jumped over 14% over last year. And President Obama and his daughters did their part to support local businesses on Small Business Saturday. The president, along with Malia and Sasha, visited an independent bookstore and popsicle shop in Washington as part of a Small Business Saturday. The push to shop small in the Saturday after Thanksgiving reached a record high this year, bringing in more than $16 billion. That's up 14% than last year. Amazon has unveiled a new video of its drone delivery system, Prime Air. According to its website, Amazon promises that the drones will be able to deliver packaging weighing up to 5 pounds in under 30 minutes. According to the online retailer, this new drone not only has a range of about 10 miles, it can fly higher than 400 feet. Amazon has been trying to win the public's approval for its drone delivery project for a couple of years now, but the service isn't launching anytime soon. It still hasn't been approved and faces regulatory hurdles in the U.S. and in other countries. And Adele can say hello to some record-breaking numbers. Her new album, 25, sold 3.38 million copies during its first week. That beats the previous single sales week record held by NSYNC by nearly 1 million copies. Adele also announced the European tour last week. And check this out, this glittery rock is in fact a diamond, and it's the biggest diamond discovered in a century. It was discovered in the southern African nation of Botswana. The rock is so huge that Canadian mining company that found it is unable to put a price on it. That's in part because the rock is too big for computer analysis. Some analysts suspect the 1,100 plus carat gem is worth about $66 million. For more consumer news, be sure to check out our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages. Reporting live in the studio, I'm Matt Haskins.
Thanks, Matt. Turning to health news, if you're looking for a way to slim down after Thanksgiving, a dog could be the key to get back in shape. A study in the Journal of Physical Activity and Health says that dog owners average about 160 minutes of physical activity a week.
But that's the average, and not all dogs are created equal. Holly Furfer has the details in today's Health Minute.
What kind of dog is good for you if you like to exercise? Well, Health Magazine has a list out, and there are certain dogs that are good for people who like to do certain things. So if you're fashioning yourself the next Steve Prefontaine, then a Vizsla or a Weimaraner is probably the dog for you. They like to run for miles on end. If getting to the mailbox is more your speed, then hang out with the Papillon. They like to sprint too. If you live by a beach or a lake, we're jealous. And an English Springer Spaniel, Poodle, or a Lab will race you to shore. If your exercise routine is really just working your upper body in the form of throwing a frisbee or a ball, we won't judge, but find friendship with an Australian Shepherd or a Border Collie. And if it's cold where you are, we're not coming to visit, but grab the sled and your Husky, they love winter sports. Golden Retrievers, Beagles, and Dalmatians like a good hike, while a Corgi likes a leisurely walk, and who can blame them with those legs? And the best dog to have by your side? A shelter dog. They're just happy to be anywhere. Oh, now you want to play too? For today's Health Minute, I'm Holly Furfer. Oh, somebody go get it.
Still ahead, police are familiar with a web of lies coming from a domestic dispute call, but this one turned out to be a web of truth. See how one man's arachnophobia almost got him arrested.
And Reese's lovers are not happy with their so-called Christmas tree-shaped treats. We'll tell you why some of the chocolate lovers are ready to flush their candy down the toilet. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Falcon Weekly. Now it's time for the buzz.
We are joined by Falcon Weekly's Elizabeth Reinhardt and Laura Poitras. What are we buzzing about today, Laura?
Well, guys, last week in Sydney, Australia, neighbors called police after hearing a man shouting death threats and a woman screaming hysterically. Once police arrived, they questioned the out-of-breath man who answered his door. After insisting there were no other people in his apartment, police told the man they had reports of a domestic dispute. The man told police it was a spider, a really big one. When police asked him about the screaming woman, the man confessed it was him screaming. He said he really hates spiders. The police searched the trash department. However, they found just one victim, a rather large spider. Police concluded the disturbance was indeed caused by an arachnophobic man wildly chasing a spider around his home. How do you guys react when you find a spider in your home?
Fairly similarly.
Yeah. Not like that. I just
extreme.
kill it. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of spiders, but just a good step on it.
Yeah.
I try to
Works for
throw
me.
something over it. You ever like a bowl or a cup or anything?
So you try to save it?
So I don't want to deal with it. I just wait till someone else comes
No,
along.
I kill it and then I flush it down the toilet. So it's gone forever.
It's gone forever, yeah. Have you ever seen the Facebook meme, like, oh, you found a spider in your house, it's time to burn the whole house down?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It's kind of what that reminded me of.
Exactly
It
how I
just
feel.
was so extreme. Well, moving on, forget playing with his food, this tiger has befriended his dinner. Amur, the tiger, and Timur, the goat, now live in the same cage at the Russian safari park. Amur usually dines on goats, but Timur was decidedly braver than his predecessors. Perhaps he had never seen a tiger before, and this is why. Apparently, the goat's bravery earned respect from the tiger, and the two animals now sleep and play together. The goat even stole the tiger's sleeping spot, forcing him to now sleep on the roof. Amur hissed at an employee as if to tell him, hey, don't you ever approach my friend. Zookeepers say that before the new friendship, he has never shown any aggression toward the staff. So guys, have you ever had a farm and had to eat your cattle or chickens or been afraid to eat your food?
I've never had a farm, but I don't know that I could if I had to like kill it, you know? I don't know if I could go through with that.
They say never name your cattle or anything if you have a farm, because then you get that emotional attachment and it's hard to like eat your pet, obviously.
Well,
That's adorable though.
Yeah, I think this is a really interesting story. Just because, I mean, a tiger that's not going to eat a goat, and then the goat runs him out of his sleeping
Right?
spot. Like,
Exactly, and
how
then
hilarious.
he tells all the zookeepers, hey, this is my friend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Leave him
That
alone.
is awesome. I would love to go see that in person.
Yes,
That's too
I'm
cute.
sure.
definitely. And trending on social media, some people have been posting photos of their Reese's Peanut Butter Christmas trees. And the reason why may surprise you. The delectable treats are supposed to be shaped like Christmas trees, but some people are claiming theirs are coming out of packages in the shape of a turd. Hershey says the shape is difficult to control because the treats are not made in a mold like most chocolate candy. Despite complaints, Hershey says sales on the classic treat have increased. Well, guys, I brought some treats for us to open up and look at today. Maybe ours look like trees.
I'm
Maybe
excited.
I don't know, let's see.
What will we get? Oh, mine's melty.
Mine's
Oh,
melted.
Mine is pretty melted.
I'm gonna leave it on the white thing.
Yeah.
Kind of looks.
Mine kind
looks
Yeah.
like a tree.
Kinda.
I don't know.
Kinda.
Eh.
It's not a real well-formed
I don't know
tree.
about
It
that.
doesn't really look like the tree on the package to me.
No.
But,
Mine probably
No.
looks the most like
Mine-
a tree
mine's not
compared
real
to
well.
everyone.
I'm sure it is still delicious though, and I will definitely eat it.
Yeah. They look like they'll still
Yeah.
taste delicious.
So yeah, not
does-
much of a tree.
Does
I mean,
the
yeah,
shape
that
of
one's not really in the
It's
shape
got
of a
a
tree.
little bit of
It's got a
branch.
little bit
yeah.
of branch.
It wants to
but
be a tree.
Yeah.
It's not quite there yet.
Yeah.
Does appearance of food ever affect your desire to eat it or not eat it?
Yes.
Not if it's a Reese's cup.
Yeah, not if you know
Not
it's
if
going to
it's
be
that,
good.
but
If
food,
it's a Reese's
yes.
cup, I'm gonna eat it.
Yeah. Maybe if it's something I've never had before, it would, but you know that's going to be awesome.
Yes. Take a look at this viral video from China. Surveillance cameras caught mysterious images of 3 vehicles at a busy intersection, seemingly levitating off the street. You can see the 2 vans rise one after the other, and then a car in the opposite direction also jumps. The cause wasn't paranormal activity, however, or weather-related. Turns out, a steel cable that got caught up on a sanitation vehicle tripped the 3 cars. If you guys were driving along and your car started levitating, what would you think?
That is terrifying.
Yeah.
I would think I was about to die.
Yeah.
I'd be like, what is going on?
I would be screaming like that guy with the spider, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Because you don't think about something like that happening. You're driving along and then all of a sudden your car lifts up.
Yeah. I mean, watching that video, you'd have no idea
Yeah,
what
so
the cause
weird.
of that is.
Right. It wasn't until they zoomed in and showed, hey, this is a cable.
Yeah.
But I mean, isn't it time for us to have levitating cars?
Oh, absolutely.
by now?
Yeah,
It's
I
almost
mean,
2006.
I don't know where my
on
hover card
purpose,
is.
Sure.
Yeah, if it does it on purpose.
On purpose, yeah.
Not if it's like that, but yeah.
No.
It is about time. Yeah. Thanks, Laura. That's a look at the buzz. Now it's time for sports.
In this week's Falcon Fever, it was a rough week for Montevallo basketball. The men's team traveled to Tuskegee last Tuesday, hoping to redeem themselves after a heartbreaking loss to the Golden Tigers on November 18th. But after another close game, the Falcons fell to Tuskegee 70-64. Montevallo then traveled to West Georgia on Saturday to face the Wolves. A 13-2 run by West Georgia early in the second half put the Wolves on top, and they never looked back, winning the contest 86-78. The Falcons will be back in action at home tomorrow night against Stillman College. Tip-off is set for 7:30. The women's basketball team couldn't pull out a win either at home last Saturday against the Faulkner Eagles. Montevallo held an early lead but ended the first half down 27-28. The Falcons regained the lead twice in the third quarter and went into the fourth quarter tied at 44, but could not score enough to capture the lead, falling to Faulkner 63-52. Montevallo will hit the court on Wednesday at home against Miles College. Tip-off is set for 5:30 p.m. Switching to college football, Alabama and Auburn squared off in Jordan-Hare Stadium Saturday afternoon for the 80th meeting of the Iron Bowl. An impressive defensive effort from both teams in the first half proved that anything can happen when playing your rival. But after halftime, number 2 Alabama earned 17 points to beat Auburn 29-13. After Alabama kicker Adam Griffith kicked the infamous kick 6 in 2013, leading to an Alabama loss, this year he helped propel his team to a second consecutive Iron Bowl victory. Earning SEC Special Teams Player of the Week, Griffith was 5 for 5, including a 47-yard field goal after 30 yards of Auburn penalties rolled the Tide into field goal range. Alabama running back and Heisman frontrunner Derrick Henry earned SEC Offensive Player of the Week for the 5th time this season after a record-breaking performance on the Plains, tallying a career-best 271 yards on 46 carries and a touchdown. Henry broke Alabama's single-season record for rushing yards with 1,797, passing Trent Richardson's 1,679 record set in 2013. He also took over Richardson's school record of 21 rushing touchdowns on the season, with his 22nd rushing touchdown coming on Saturday. Henry leads the country with 17 consecutive games with a touchdown, which is the most by an SEC player in 20 years. Alabama will face Florida on Saturday in the SEC Championship at 3:30 p.m. A win will lock their spot in the college football playoffs. Auburn is projected to face NC State in the Belk Bowl on December 30th. This past week has been a confusing one for Les Miles and LSU football and fans. After rumors surrounding the firing of the 10-year head coach surfaced on November 18th, Miles and his supporters were preparing for the worst heading into Saturday's game with the Texas A&M Aggies. But a 19-7 win at home and the outpour of love from fans and players alike seemed to reverse those considerations. LSU Athletic Director Joe Aleva announced that Miles isn't going anywhere. Georgia head coach Mark Richt wasn't as lucky after Saturday's win in state rival Georgia Tech. After 15 years in Athens, Rick was fired as head coach. In his decade and a half at the helm, he compiled a 145-51 record, which ranks second in UGA history. He has also guided Georgia to a bowl game each year. In a post-game conference, Rick speaks on why he thinks he was let go.
It got to the point where there wasn't enough confidence that my leadership could get it done, and that's the prerogative of the people in charge, and I understand that.
In NBA news, after 20 years, Kobe Bryant is turning in his purple and gold jersey for good, and he let the world know by releasing a 52-line poem on the internet. During his time with the Los Angeles Lakers, Bryant has become one of the greatest basketball players of all time.
I mean, I just, the fact that I'm talked about in the company with Magic and, Cap, and, I've made it. That's enough for me, man. I was a Laker diehard growing up. You know what I mean? So, that's good enough for me. And I've just been extremely fortunate. I mean, how many kids can say growing up, that, you turn pro, you're going to play for your favorite team in the world and spend your entire career there? I mean, it's been a dream.
Bryant is ending his career with 2 Olympic gold medals, 5 championship rings, 17 All-Star selections, and an 81-point game that ranks as the second best in NBA history. He is also one of 4 players with at least 25,000 points, 6,000 rebounds, and 6,000 assists. It's safe to say that Bryant's talent will never be forgotten. And that's a look at this week's sports.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Finally this week, Santa Claus is taking a break from the chilly North Pole to catch some waves off Cocoa Beach, Florida.
A professional surfer dressed as Santa cruised into Shepherd Park Friday on a jet ski. Then St. Nick came to shore, posed for pictures with children, and handed out candy canes. The organization Surfing Santas put the event together and uses it as a way to support their Grind for Life cancer charity. They say it's a big hit with local families.
That's all the time we have for this week's show. Thank you so much for joining us.
For more UM news from MassComm student reporters, be sure to check out the Falcon News Network blog. The web address is on your screen. This is our last newscast of the year.
Thank you for watching this semester, and we hope you enjoy the holiday season. And be sure to tune back in 2016.